Hello everyone, this is Afsha, a teacher at Elizabeth High School and Junior College. Welcome back to my class. Today we are going to start the part C of Unit 4 from class 6 and the name of our topic is Tanaji Malusare. So this is a story from Maharashtra. A very inspiring story of a brave warrior. So who was Tanaji Malusare actually? He was a very brave warrior. A soldier we can say. Tanaji Malusare was the name of the warrior. Perhaps no episode in Maratha history was moved the hearts of people as deeply as the death of Tanaji Malusare, the conqueror of Simha Gourd. It is the lion's fort. The word Simha Gourd here refers to the lion fort. It is a Hindi word actually. The Gourd here refers to the fort and Sim is lion. This story is known to every Maratha child through the Ballad of Simha. The Simhagad fort was one of the 23 forts surrendered to the Mughals as per the Purandar treaty. This act of surrender hurt the feelings of the Marathas. There was fire in the hearts of Marathas. That fire would never subside till they take revenge. So what it is saying, this is a story known to every Maratha child through the Ballad of Simhagad actually. So now we will learn about the Simhagad fort. What is it actually? What is its speciality? It was one of the 23 forts that were surrendered to the Mughals as per the Purandar treaty. Fine. And it hurts the feelings of the Marathas very much. So they are in a way to take a revenge. One morning, says the Ballad of the Simhagad, Jijabai, Shivaji's mother, was looking out of the window of Pratapgarh. So I hope you all have a little bit of idea about the fort of Pratapgarh actually. That is a very famous story about it, and the famous king of Pratapgarh was Shivaji. And his mother was Jijabai. So one day she was looking out of the window of the Pratapgarh. She saw in the distance the majestic monument, Simhagad, the lion fort. She wanted Shivaji to win back the fort from the Mughals. But Shivaji thought that it was an impossible task. He knew that there was one man who can do this, and that was none other than Tanaji. So one day what happened? Shivaji's mother, when she was looking out of the window of the Pratapgarh, she saw a beautiful monument. That was none other than the Simhagad. Fine, the fort of Simhagad. So she expressed her desire by saying that I want you to conquer the fort of Simhagad back. So on this, Shivaji knows that it was not a possible task, and he also knows that it is possible only for a single man, that is none other than Tanaji. He sent for Tanaji, but when Tanaji came, Shivaji did not have the heart to tell his dear comrade why he had been summoned. His mother Jijabai told him the nature of his mission. So Tanaji was called actually. Then Shivaji was not able to tell the desire actually why he was called. Then his mother Jijabai told him the whole story. The lion-hearted Tanaji promised either to accomplish it or die in the process. He set out at night and marched towards the fortress with his men. He reached the fortress secretly on a cold, clear and moonless night in February 1670. So this incident took place in February 1670. So when Jijabai expressed her desire, Tanaji immediately promised that either he will conquer the fort or he will lose his life. So he went on for his mission. He had taken with him Shivaji's favorite Gourd, that is Udumu. Gourd is a animal we can say, or an insect we can say, that have the capacity to catch very strongly, or lizard to assist in scaling the fort wall. A rope was tied to the waist of the lizard. The lizard refused to follow the order and climb the fort as it noticed a danger in climbing the fort. Tanaji expressed his anger. The lizard obeyed his order. It was terrified and scaled the hilltop, which helped the Marathas to go up the cliff. So what happened? He carried a Gourd or a leech we can say with him, so which helped him out to reach on the topper layers of the fort. A rope was tied on the upstairs with the help of that lizard or the Gourd. Some soldiers reached the top. The guards in the fort detected their arrival. The sentries were swiftly killed by the Marathas, but the clash of arms thoroughly roused the garrison. Tanaji faced a serious problem. Many soldiers of his troops were still at the bottom of the fort. Even then, he had to challenge the enemy that greatly outnumbered his troops. So what happened? Some soldiers reached up and immediately the guards in the fort, the guards of the Mughals, detected their arrival. They came to know that these troops have entered the fort and they started taking the serious actions. Now it was a very panic moment for Tanaji, because there were many soldiers or troops, we can say, that were still at the bottom of the fort. So it was a very great difficulty faced by him. He has already made up his mind and he ordered his troops to launch the attack. The fight proceeded. Tanaji lost many men, but his men caused heavy losses on the Mughal forces. So what happened? As it was completely planned, Tanaji ordered his troops to launch the attack. He started them to begin. Fine. Then the fight proceeded. Tanaji lost many men, but on the other hand, that there was the same effect with the Mughals even. They also lost many forces. Tanaji repeatedly sang to keep the spirits of his soldiers high. After some hours, the Mughal commander Uday Bhan was engaged in a fight with Tanaji. So after some time, what happened? The Mughal commander, whose name was Uday Bhan, he was engaged in a fight with Tanaji. The odds were against the Maratha. The long night march, the anxiety of the mission, scaling the fort and the vigorous fight Tanaji had already been engaged in before had made him weak completely. Hence, after a lengthy fight, Tanaji fell, never to get up. It means that he lost his life finally. However, the fight continued under the leadership of Suryaji, Tanaji's brother. So, after the death of Tanaji, the fight continued under the leadership of Suryaji, who was Tanaji's brother. The soldiers who were at the bottom of the fort reached the fort and continued fighting. The Mughals bit the dust. The Maratha soldiers brought the fort under their control. So finally the Marathas were succeeded. The Mughals lost the battle. It was a great victory for the Marathas, but there was no mood of joy of victory in their camp. The news of the victory reached Shivaji. He rushed to the fort eagerly to congratulate Tanaji. To his shock, he saw the brave Tanaji lifeless. The Ballad of Simha describes the grief as such. So what happened? On knowing that they were able to, they were successful in conquering the fort, Shivaji was very happy and he ran to congratulate Tanaji. But he was very shocked to see Tanaji dead. And he describes the grief in such a way. 12 days the king wept over him for the great love that he bore him. The sorrow of Jijabai was also described. The scarf removed, he saw his face, no worthier chief of the race. It was thus she wailed and drew a sword before the armies of his lord. Shivaji, son and king, today your right hand has been chopped away. When Shivaji learned of his friend's death, he remarked, God Alapan Simha Gela. It meant we have gained the fort but lost the lion. So what happened? They were very sad actually after the battle of 12 days, right? They were waiting for 12 days for this fort, but finally they showed their grief by saying that we have gained the fort but we have lost our lion. So that was a great adventure and a brave story of Tanaji Malusare, who was a great warrior or the lion of the Shivaji emperor, we can say. Fine. That was all about our lesson. So let us stop it here itself and we will continue in our next class. Thank you.